Hi, Abha. It is a wonderful Thursday morning again, and I'm super happy to be here with you. I hope you had a great week so far.
Absolutely. And super excited to be talking about what we're going to talk about today because it's so important.
It is, it absolutely is. Our topic for today in our podcast, Who Do You Want to Be, is the importance of building a personal brand. And many of you might be working in corporations, full-time employed, probably for your entire career. And your first thought might be, oh, a personal brand. I don't know if I need that. But to be very honest with you, this episode is exactly for you because yes, you do need a personal brand as well. I can just start off with my very own example, actually. I used to be employed for about 15 years of my career. And I really enjoyed putting myself out there, specifically on LinkedIn, because it was a great platform for me to share different projects I was working on. I wanted to get, for example, opinions of others. I was head of HR and I used LinkedIn, building my personal brand, to establish myself as someone who has an opinion about, for example, latest HR topics. I wanted to get feedback and comments from people who might be having a different opinion, who I could learn from. And this was my initial start to work with LinkedIn, but I realized very soon after that people would start coming to me and actually ask me about specific things that I posted about, ask me about an opinion that I raised, ask me about feedback on something that they were thinking about. And I realized this is amazing because even though I don't need LinkedIn for my job right now, what LinkedIn or any other platform can help me with is really for everyone to see me as someone who is knowledgeable in what he or she does, which is great. And this is what your personal brand is, right? Your personal brand is what tells other people what you stand for, what you're good at, what you're an expert at, for example, what your values are as well. And when you are working in corporate, this also definitely helps you not just to widen your field in understanding, okay, who else is out there, what do they have to say, but also to get feedback from others on your opinions and on your knowledge that helps you grow. And ultimately, of course, if you are looking into a new job, you can use that network and get connections to companies that you might otherwise not get a connection to. So having a personal brand has so many different advantages, especially now that pretty much everyone is on social media. So thankfully, I have my wonderful Abba right here with me. So Abba, what is your advice to our audience? How can they start to build a personal brand?
Like you said, building a personal brand is no longer an option. I think if you want to stay relevant, we need to do it, whether you're in the corporate space and even more so if you're an entrepreneur. Also, I feel like it's not enough just to put out written content anymore because of AI and how everyone's just churning out generic content. So, first of all, if you're going to put out written content, take the time and energy to make it really yours, add value to it. And we've talked about this in other episodes, but I'm repeating it because it's so important. You will not be able to build a personal brand if you're not authentic. And segueing from that, it goes to show the reason today video content is the most highly engaging and highly converting content is purely because of this. It's because it enables you to be 100% authentic because you're literally showing up on camera and speaking. And it's not easy to do. And often we feel overwhelmed to do it because you don't have a video camera and you don't know how to edit, or you don't know where to film, or you don't know what to say. But the beauty of video content online when you're building a personal brand is that it doesn't have to be any of those things. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be slick. It doesn't have to be edited by a professional. It doesn't have to be recorded in a studio. You can use your phone, know what you want to say. Imagine you're speaking to a friend and just record a 30-second clip with some value and put it out there. This can really help you build your personal brand much faster. We no longer need to rely on professional people to edit videos for us because the truth is, as we crave more authenticity now in this age of AI where everything is becoming automated, everything is becoming so generic, people want to see the real you. They want to see you as you are, not as a version of who you are when you show up on camera. And before it used to be like that, that it would be, you would be your perfect self. if you had to show up in a photograph or in a camera, but that is no longer required. And I also feel it's not expected. Now, if you do want to spend money and hire somebody to do all your video content, great. But the message I want to give is now, again, with AI tools at your fingertips, you no longer need someone to do that for you. And learning is not difficult. There is a little bit of a learning curve for video editing or just filming on video and the different features that, for example, the Instagram app has, or any app that you might choose. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but the learning curve is like so little. So if you're looking to build your personal brand out there, don't feel overwhelmed or shy to just use what you have at your disposal and just do it, because you're never going to feel ready. You're never going to have the perfect output. You only get better by doing it again and again and again and again. What's that famous meme that's everywhere? You know, you've got to suck at something before you get better. Your first video will always be bad. It's okay. Doesn't matter, but your second video will be better. And then your 100th video will be amazing. And your brand would have grown phenomenally.
I love your approach to this. I think it is very important to really understand that we don't have to be perfect at everything that we do. And the real question also is, what is our motivation behind wanting to build a personal brand? So also becoming clear on, what do I actually want to represent? Do I want to be someone who is approachable? Do I want to be someone who comes across as somebody who is open-minded, who wants to speak to other people, who is welcoming feedback? Because of course, if you want to be seen as someone like that, then the way how you actually speak, the content that you are presenting is more important than, let's say, what your hair looks like or what you're wearing or whether your makeup is perfect or not. And I completely understand that there are people out there who do pay a lot of attention to this, which is absolutely fine. But just really reflect for yourself, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to stand for? But also, what is acceptable and good enough? It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but it should be good enough for you because it represents you, right? Your content represents you, so you should be comfortable with whatever you put out there. And now, as you said, Abba, the beauty of these tools also really is that we can play around with it. We can take a video and we can edit it. We don't have to take it at face value. If there is a moment where I would be stumbling or I would catch myself saying something that I actually didn't want to say or something that didn't come out the right way, well, I can go in and I can cut it out, which is perfect. So the conditions for us to really create content that we are happy with, despite the fact that we probably never played around with it, are perfect right now.
And also be very aware that the first time you start doing this, you're never going to be 100% happy. And that's okay. If you're happy with the value you're putting out there, I like to say 70%. If you're happy with the cut, just put it out there, because it's very easy to become a perfectionist. It very easily becomes, oh, I'm not looking properly here, or I stumbled a little bit here. And stumbling, yes, you can edit, but not always. But it doesn't matter. It's okay. And like you said, as long as what you're putting out there is valuable, lose the perfection that needs to come around with it, because that will come over time. And you'll be amazed at how much it can help you grow personally and in a professional space as you're trying to position yourself as an authority online. On that note, and the importance of staying authentic and really showing up as who you are, what you believe, and how you want to position yourself, all of that, AI tools are amazing, getting you started. However, they are also going in a different direction now. There are AI tools, maybe you already know, that help you clone yourself. For example, there's a tool called HeyGen where you can record yourself for a couple of minutes, upload it, and it will start creating videos of you, but it's not you. You would have to feed it a script, and it's not you. Similarly, on a smaller scale, you'll see everyone now is using photographs that are AI generated for their personal profiles. Now, this is a bit of a debate here, and this is something Sabine and I were having over coffee the other day, and we thought, let's bring it up, because There are lots of people who use these tools beautifully, but it's not them. But it does represent them in their true light because they've stayed as authentic as they can with these AI tools. So they've used HeyGen to create a video avatar, and they've cloned their voice in a tool like 11 Labs. And then they're feeding in their script. So they don't have to get up and get ready in the morning. When they want to film some video, they just get their avatar, input the script, and voila, there's a video. So the question is, where do we draw the line? Like, is that okay? Do I want to know that this is AI? Does it matter if it's a really good video? Do I want to know, and then will I still watch it if it's AI? So I don't have an answer to this question. I don't think anybody does, but I think it all comes down to personal values. I don't know what you think about this, Sabine.
As you said, it is a very, very interesting debate. And to be honest with you, I personally wouldn't want to use videos that are 100% AI generated, showing me doing something, showing me speaking a language that I don't speak, for example. This is one thing where I saw a HeyGen demonstration, and there was a person who was standing right in front of me, the real person, and he was showing videos of himself, how he was walking down in an aisle and he was speaking 3 different languages that in real life he can't speak a single word of. So that was funny in the end, and we were astonished that this is even possible. But on the other hand, I personally wouldn't want to represent myself as someone I'm not. For example, I wouldn't want to be seen in a video where I'm speaking Turkish fluently, because in real life I don't speak a single word of Turkish. So people could send me a message afterwards, let's say in Turkish, and they would ask me something and I wouldn't understand a single word. And then having to admit to them, oh, I'm sorry, I'm actually don't speak Turkish. For me personally, that would be embarrassing. I can see the point that it's very valuable to put a video out there that's in a language I don't speak if I want to reach a specific market where people don't speak German, for example, because my mother tongue is German. So that has advantages. I just would put out there, okay, here, now the following video is 100% artificial. It represents me, but it's not me. Something like this. But then I also wonder, why would I even do it then? Why wouldn't I just, put a video out there of the actual me and then say, I would love for you to get in touch with me, even though, you can't contact me in German, then try this, this, and that, something like this. But as you said, it's really about the values and it's about the goal that I want to achieve. For me personally, one of my values is authenticity. And I prefer to put content out there that is 100% me, even though it might not be perfect.
Yeah, and it's a debate. I mean, like, I know that CEOs do this all over the world because the truth is people will listen to you more than they will read. So you could, for example, in your case, speak in English and have Turkish subtitles
Mm.
at the bottom. But then again, attention spans are low. People don't really read. So if you want to reach a Turkish market, are you really able to do it if you're not speaking Turkish? So again, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do or not. It's just so personal. And it comes back to, why are you doing this? 100% I feel it should be revealed that this is AI generated. However, at the same time, if my message is being communicated with crystal clarity in their language, which obviously I cannot replicate, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Again, I don't know. And I think that in the future, all these lines are going to be so blurred. But I think the more I think about it, I just feel transparency is going to be key. Like, if you're transparent, I think it's okay.
You just said a very important word there, Abba. You said it's about transparency. And what I'm relating to transparency is actually trust. So when we talk about putting our personal brand out there, representing ourselves through videos, for example, what I want to create ultimately is, of course, that people are trusting me, right? I want them to start building a connection with me. I want them to, for example, buy my product. I want them to reach out to me. And what makes people do that? Because they trust. They trust my product, they trust me, they trust my brand. So now, of course, when I am generating content that comes along as fake, and it's very visible that it is fake, then it's very unlikely that my audience would actually trust me. So this is where I believe transparency is absolutely important. So even if we do say, okay, it is super valuable for my brand right now to create a video in which I'm speaking a language that I don't speak, I'm just making it very transparent so that I can uphold the trust that people already built in me ideally. But what I really want to avoid, that I am destroying the trust that probably took me a couple of months to actually build with my audience.
Yeah, trust is the only thing that's going to keep you valued, because once trust is lost, there's really nothing to uphold anymore. You've destroyed a relationship, you've destroyed any connection you're trying to build. So transparency and trust are very closely interlinked, and AI is challenging all these things. And it's really up to us as humans to ensure that while we use these tools for everything they have to offer, we maintain transparency and trust, because otherwise we are destroying our brand rather than building it. And a small, maybe nuanced question here is, even when it comes to generating your own photos online, it's very common now to see people use AI tools for their LinkedIn profile photos or for their headshots. And some of them actually are really good and they look like the person. So does it matter? But some don't look like the person. Some are a very amazingly perfect version of that person. But then again, it comes down to what you said. If I'm using this AI tool to help me create a really good headshot of myself, let me ensure that it actually looks like me, so that when I show up in real life, people don't feel deceived that this is not the person I was communicating with. I mean, how many of you have seen a photo on WhatsApp or seen a photo on LinkedIn, and maybe the person is not exactly what you see on there? How do you feel about that? It's a question you need to ask yourself so that you don't do the same thing when you are using these tools. And, getting a headshot, getting dressed, getting a proper photographer, getting all that done for your personal profile is time and energy, and you have to do it. So, but if you're using AI to replace that, make sure it really looks like you.
Yeah, I think that's super important because oftentimes, if I think deception is the perfect word. If I meet someone and they don't look like the profile photo that I've seen, or a photo that, or a photo that they sent me, one of my initial thoughts would be, oh, okay, what is the reason that, she or he didn't send me a real photo? And the second thought would be, what else do they have to hide? So in either way, when there is a mismatch between the photo that I've seen first and the person that I meet, my initial thoughts are not positive. They are not helping me to actually strengthen the trust that I'm trying to build with that person right now. So it is damaging the intention of the person. So the real question also really is, what are your intentions? Where do you see the benefit of using AI generated photos or AI generated videos that actually do not represent the whole you?
So please use these AI tools to get your brand out there. Experiment with video, because it is one thing that's really going to help your brand move faster when it comes to positioning itself online, because people watch videos. They are watching you and they will watch your videos more than they will read what you have to say. But just ensure that the way you are putting yourself out there remains true to who you are, so that when you're building relationships online or positioning yourself online, you're doing it from a place of authenticity, and you're building a trusted network around you. Because like Sabine said, if there's no trust, there's deception, and there's no way of coming back from that once you start going in that direction. I hope you found that useful, and thank you again for listening, and we'll see you again next week.